You know, when it comes to with the concept of love of country and love of God, our next guest does just that. Dr. Cordie Williams is 1776 Forever Free. You guys have put the promotion of love of God and country first and foremost.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Brian, and thanks for having me on today. You know, our mission is just to bring everybody together under the Constitution, because I earnestly believe that we have more together that unites us than divides us, and that red, white, and blue flag, we've got to start to instill that patriotic spirit back in our kids and not create all this division in the country.
I agree, because at the end of the day, we're all Americans, and we all love this country, or we should. There's a lot of entitlement going on. But that's one of the things that you guys promote is patriotism, history, learning about our country, learning about how we are, how do we get to where we are today, and that's something that you guys do.
Yeah, we just kind of believe that the Bible is kind of your book to salvation, and the roadmap for freedom is the Constitution. And there's so many Americans that don't know about it, don't know, given the last, 9 months, everything that's happened, they could navigate that kind of journey a little bit easier if they kind of understood what their rights were.
Let's talk about how you got to where you are today. You're a veteran, so the love of country means a lot to you. Let's talk about your background.
Yeah, so I'm a former Marine, I'm a doctor, I'm a father of two. When I was 18 years old, I went into the Marine Corps, ended up getting an economics degree, and then going on to get my doctorate. And fate would find it that one May 1st day, I was out at a rally and kind of just protesting the lockdowns. And I had a video that got about 16 million views and went viral on a megaphone. And then we founded 1776 Forever Free. The megaphone,
the power of the megaphone. That is awesome. Okay, so now you've got this movement. Let's talk about the traction that you're getting, the involvement, some of the feedback you've gotten from people that have been following you guys and contributing.
Yeah, well, we did rallies up and down California. We probably did 2,000 to 10,000 people at each one, 60 different rallies. Then we took it national. We've partnered with events with Brandon Strock and other groups. And, the feedback we get is people are just really, really refreshed. And they're kind of giving that kickstart. They're like, thank goodness you guys are doing this, because I thought our republic was dead. I thought freedom was dead in America. So that's kind of the feedback we've been getting, as well as people just want somebody to inspire them and lead them and show them the way going forward. Because this is about our kids.
It is about our kids. It's about the future, and it's about education. Like you've said, a lot of schools aren't properly educating our kids when it comes with history and being grateful for what they have in this country. Okay, so you've been walking around CPAC this year. What has stood out to you? Any particular speaker that you've heard, or maybe people that you've seen walking around? We've had James O'Keefe walk by. We've got some other people. I mean, there's a lot of people in the conservative movement here right now. What has stood out to you?
To me, it's just how we've united so much, right? Like what I've really noticed is you would think after the 20th, people would have their head between their tail and be really depressed and all that. But there's this exciting spirit of what's next? What's next for us as patriots? And I think people are ready to dig in, and they're ready to not only continue the fight, but let's take back our republic. Let's take back this country. And so, I thought people were going to be down, and they're not. People are really energized and excited.
Okay, as RSBN expands our platforms, we've been talking about this for a while, how we're going to expand our programming as well. You've got a radio show that's on local there in San Diego, Southern California. Let's talk about that and how you're going to kind of reformat that show to be right here on this platform.
Yeah, well, we've got a radio show and a podcast. As you mentioned, we're on The Answer in KCBQ in San Diego. And then
which, by the way, is a fairly large station. I'm very familiar with The Answer, so props for getting on that station. That's a lot about the nature of your show, but go ahead.
Well, it's a God-led thing, and even, just being honored to be friends with somebody like you and know you. God just kind of led the mission, and we got on The Answer, and then we got the podcast going out to iHeart and Spotify, and it's going out to Apple iTunes. And I'm just honored. Now we're going to merge that with RSBN and add some video, and it's going to be a whole podcast video, and I'm really pumped about it.
So if you were to, in the description of this show, if you were to put a couple sentences to explain the nature of it, what would that look like?
Crystal Teeney's my co-host. And what we do is we just get raw and real and uncensored about the feelings that conservative patriots are having in America right now, those conversations that you probably don't want anybody to hear, that you're having at the lunch table or that you're having over a cocktail or something like that, that's what Crystal and I really want to expose, so that people start to really not only look and talk about what's going on in America, but what's that solution on Monday? What are you going to do next to move the needle on freedom?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've talked a lot on this show, and on a network rather, that a lot of people complain about politics. They complain about what's going on in the world, but at the end of the day, they don't really have any solutions to fix that. And I've even said, hey, if you don't like the way things are going on national level, then perhaps drill it down to what your city council, your school boards. I mean, think about this. There's a lot that impacts your life on a local level, not just who's president. It's who's running your schools, who's running your city council, things like that.
Yeah. I was with Brian Gibson in the car on the way over here and Matt Couch, and we were actually talking about that. Like, if you would ask me 9 months ago if I care about who the governor is or who my city council member was, I would be like, Brian, get out of here, right?
Yeah.
But now over the last 9 months, I think Americans are waking up to, the next time we have a situation like this where they take a public health scenario and they start to influence freedom, like, we need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like the awareness, I mean, more people are coming, I wouldn't say coming out of the closet, but they're being more involved in politics, and maybe that's what the election, and then maybe that's what Trump did to all of us when it comes to American politics. It woke us up. It poked the bear. And of course, now we know that it does matter who is a senator in the state of Wyoming. It does matter who the governor is in the state of California. And so hopefully people across the country will get the bug that will bite them to get involved in politics. And of course, I'm going on the road with Scott Pressler, who's a big advocate of kind of getting people, it's kind of like a boot camp 101, if you will. It's about election. It's about, hey, get involved in your local politics, which I thought about. I got a great mayor. I'm not going to tell you where I live because I don't want anybody, but I got a great mayor in my city. But if he was not great, I would probably consider about running for a city council or mayor to try to change things. So I think if you don't like things going in your neighborhood, just get involved.
Start blowing up Brian's Instagram right now to run for office. No.
I would last about a week, and then I would end up on suspension. But just get involved and make a difference, right?
Yeah. I mean, anybody, it's like, the first time you did anything, you didn't know how, right? So that excuse is over. We can no longer, if we want our kids to live in the same country that you and I grew up with, and I just turned 41, we've got to lean in. Yeah. The days of being on the sideline and drinking Gatorade are over.
It's
right?
over.
We've got to start throwing the football.
Okay, website for you guys if people want more information. Of course, you're actively involved in a little bit of the recall efforts. And, of course, Liz and our team will be out there in San Francisco and Sacramento coming up later in March for those efforts. But how can people get a hold of you?
You can go to 1776foreverfree.com. We are a nonprofit, so whether you want to make a donation to the mission, even if it's $5, or buy one of these snazzy and very attractive T-shirts, we would love for you to do that.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt, and I will be sporting it a little bit later as well. Dr. Cordie Williams, thank you so much, Cordie, for hanging out with us. And, of course, all the CPAC will have all the interviews and all the speakers coming to you right here, so stay tuned.